went to a BTS concert. Not just any concert, my first BTS concert. I became an ARMY for BTS in late 2013, and well, now I'm an adult with adult money. I secured the tickets on first try, what can I say? Just kidding. It took me 3 tries to actually secure them. I went to the ARIRANG tour in Las Vegas for day 3. Here's a vlog/informative type video, and we'll go over Weverse pickup, the stamp rally, merchandise booths, the stadium, the concert itself, and the ticket buying. I hope this in-depth video could help set better expectations and tighten up planning for other armies who are going to future ARIRANG tour dates. I'll be going over some detailed experiences as well, just so that you guys could know what to expect. Alright, Weverse pickup. For Weverse pickup, US exclusive items released on Weverse roughly on April 18, 2026. I believe they have more concerts in the US coming up in August, so hopefully this helps. These processes might differ depending on the country, so this might be more accurate to the US. After you order your pickup item, you will receive a QR code attached to that order in which you could save for offline. You'll be able to choose a time slot within operation days to pick up your merch. I set my reservation at 5 till 5:30 p.m. on May 26, and I got an email from Weverse America with detailed instructions on getting to the pickup location. Depending on your area, I'd say it's worth checking the locations, especially if you want to line up at the merchandise booths, which is typically in a separate location. Here I am arriving in Mandalay Bay Convention Center. I specifically chose to follow the underground parking route on the email. There were a bunch of A-frame signs leading me to exactly where the pickup location was inside the building, so you basically just follow the signs. As I got to the entrance of the pickup room, there was a designated line and a dude who checks for proof of a QR code. And then when I got inside, oh man, BTS was blasting in the room, and just outside it was almost dead silent. You basically walk up into that line, someone checks if you actually have a QR code, you go up to the tables where they're handing out the pickup orders, and then they'll scan your QR code and they'll hand you whatever you pre-ordered. If you had a light stick, you would test them at the smaller tables and staff will assist you with batteries and stuff. Here's what I got, cause it's sold out for the normal delivery merch drop. That's it. Fast and easy. BTS The City ARIRANG Stamp Rally. I found a few videos online about the BTS The City ARIRANG Stamp Rally and other events in Las Vegas, but nothing beats the Weverse post itself. On there, I was able to find the specific locations of the events and the stamps, which was like the nightclub and the monorail, or maybe offline, like the red illumination in the Las Vegas Strip. It also specifies the times in which these events take place. Honestly, I didn't really care for it at first, but when I drove into the Strip, I saw a BTS sphere and a BTS monorail. I was pretty much all in at that point, with the budget, of course. The first location I went to was the monorail. I took the tram thinking it was the same thing, but it was indeed not a monorail. There are about 9 trains operating in the monorail, and one of them was wrapped in red, and it said, "What is your ARIRANG?" The QR code was inside the monorail, along with cute walls to take pictures with. The second was obviously the concert, so if you have an upcoming BTS stamp rally and you don't want to miss it, it will show up on the display a couple times before the show starts. The third one I found was the Marquee nightclub right outside, and well, in the States, you had to be 21. I'm Canadian, and I'm 20, so thank God they put the QR code outside the nightclub, because I'm clearly not allowed in there. Okay, so if you're planning to participate in future stamp rallies with BTS, make sure that you check Weverse really frequently. And for pop-up merch stores, which I did not go to, but I've met some people who have, you would have to check your Weverse again. They'll post about the pop-up. You'd have to sign up for RSVP, but that does not guarantee that they'll have stock by the time that you get in. So a lot of people would just go just to take photos and see what it looks like, because they do typically sell out quite fast and they don't restock. For pop-up merch stores, you just had to sign up and pray to get RSVP. All right, now merch booths. Merchandise booths were mostly only operating during concert dates, except one booth was operating the day before the first concert in Vegas, and I honestly did not plan ahead enough. I arrived after the first couple days of their Vegas concerts, so that meant that I had to go line up for merch on the day of my concert, which kind of sucked. I was still in Vegas on day 4, so I kind of had a backup plan there. There were 2 exterior merch booths, the main booth and the standard booths, and an interior VIP booth. On the 27th, the day of my concert, the merch booths open at 9 a.m., which the lines also opened. That doesn't mean that people aren't lining up before opening. I woke up at roughly 2:40 a.m. and arrived at the location of the merch booths, which was Allegiant Stadium in this case, and got in line at 3:50 a.m. for the standard booth. I haven't personally experienced the main booth, but I believe it uses Amazon Just Walk Out technology. So it was basically like grab what you want, tap your card and dip, and it's AI technology. And the main booth also includes the standard process of pick what you want, have it given to you by staff, and pay either by cash or card, but I believe because it was a cashless venue, probably just card. For the standard booth, it was just the standard process. It is a lot slower. I'd say it takes double the time that the Amazon line takes to get through everybody. The line was quite long, spanning 0.4 miles from lot N of Allegiant Stadium almost to the end of the Hacienda Bridge. I was absolutely unprepared. As a Canadian, I thought 15 degrees Celsius at 5 a.m. wouldn't be that bad, but oh, I was so wrong. It was dark, windy, and freezing that my fingers could barely move. I called my sister to swap with my mom, who I was lining up with, and to bring blankets, but it was so windy that the blankets almost flew away. While waiting, I made some friends and or acquaintances and handed out freebies since the line wasn't moving anyways. I met some really kind and wonderful people. Let's call them Belly, Mara, Stephanie, Yasmin, Dana, and other friends. I'm sorry, my memory is pretty cooked at this point. At 5:58 a.m., people were finally let into the lot and we got comfortable again, sitting on the concrete. Roughly around 7 a.m., a lot of people needed to use the restroom, but the portable toilets were so far, so people just chose to hold it. At the same time, my sister was starting to feel low blood sugar kicking in since she didn't eat beforehand. Belly gave her a bunch of sugary snacks and even ran over to the drink vendor to buy her Gatorade, but I ran after her and paid for it because she's been incredibly generous. She was like a second mom. At 8:36 a.m., they handed out stacks of the menu or merch selection. I don't know what else to call it. Maybe let's call it the menu for people in line to pass on, essentially giving people ample time to decide, especially if they haven't decided beforehand. I already knew exactly what I wanted months in advance since they also released on Weverse a post of exactly what they would be selling about the on-site merch pickup and merchandise booths post. What I wanted was the city exclusive jersey and the charcoal zip-up hoodie. Before I move forward to opening, there were 2 separate trailers at the specific standard booth location, each with their own stock of merch. But it's not enough to meet demand, so if I say an item is sold out, unless specified, it is both trailers that sold out at the same time of that specific item. The line opened and began moving at 9 a.m. and at 9:46 a.m., J-Hope and Suga jerseys sold out. By 10:05 a.m., Jungkook jerseys sold out. At 10:13 a.m., the city exclusive jersey sold out in 1 trailer, and the second trailer was running extremely low. Mara, my sister, and I decided to line up together and order together because Mara wanted 2 member jerseys, but it's only limited to 1 per item per person. And since I wasn't getting one, I'd get one out for her and she'd make 2 separate transactions. At 10:17 a.m., we were up in line and we ran to the trailer with the leftover city jerseys. I was able to get both items I wanted wanted, including a plush keyring for my mom. However, at this point, that was the last of the city jersey stock, as Mara, my sister, and I each got the city jerseys, and the only member jerseys left were V and Jimin. And that entire process ended at 10:30 after we've gotten the items that we wanted, and we met up with the rest of the newly founded group. If one of y'all is seeing this and you know you are one of the people I met in line, know that I love you, I miss you, you deserve everything, thank you, and let's reconnect, all in a not weird way. More specifics to tighten up expectations. People who were first in line had lined up at approximately 8 p.m. the night before, on the 26th. I lined up 5 hours prior to the line opening and almost did not get the city jersey, and most member jerseys were sold out. If you are lining up for a standard booth, a safer arrival time would be roughly 7 hours or more prior to the opening. That is, if you are up for it. It may vary from city to city, and it is a possibility that a more significant amount of people may line up earlier, and it will definitely look different with the main booth, VIP booth, and standard booth. What I noticed though is that the main booth had a line that was maybe 5 times longer, especially with the Amazon Just Walk Out technology becoming increasingly popular. Amazon lines do move faster, but with the longer lines, I'm not too confident in people securing the merch that they want. So, after opening, J-Hope and Suga sold out in 46 minutes, Jungkook sold out in 1 hour and 5 minutes, City jerseys sold out in 1 trailer in 1 hour and 13 minutes, most member jerseys and all City jerseys sold out in 1 hour and roughly 25 minutes, given the time for transaction and staff grabbing the items. And I would expect these times to be cut more than half in an Amazon line. And that's all for merch booths. The stadium. We'll cover the concert experience after this, but first, getting in and out the stadium and preparation. The Las Vegas concerts took place at the Allegiant Stadium. It has roughly a 70,000 person capacity. Some people say 60 to 65,000 people were allowed to attend her BTS concert. The doors open at 5:30 p.m. for admission for non-VIP ticket holders, and Mara suggested to be an hour and a half early for freebies, freebie trading, and lining up for admission to the stadium. I booked an official parking reservation for the 27th on May 23rd, and it was 100 USD plus tax, 148 Canadian total. The earlier you book, the cheaper it would be and the more guaranteed it is to get a good parking spot. However, getting there was not that easy, mostly because of me. I booked it on Spot Hero. It became available to save in my Apple Wallet the day before, and it had the address on it. We got to the Allegiant Stadium at around 4:50 p.m. Saw someone get rear-ended, and I mean rear-ended. This person was just driving so fast, they rear-ended the car in front of them, and you could see like crazy fucking physics. Oh my god, but I was glad that they were safe, and we were slowly getting closer to the parking lots. And instead of inputting the exact address from Spot Hero onto maps, we went to Allegiant Stadium, asked multiple staff for directions to the specific parking lot. They told us, take a U-turn. Actually, it's on the other side of the stadium, so you had to take this turn. Actually, no, you're heading in the wrong direction. Take another U-turn. Actually, no, it's up the road, so take a U-turn. Take this turn. Actually, no, it's on the other side of the stadium. No, it's right around the corner, blah, 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 blah. Then one staff finally gave the correct directions, and I also put the right address on maps at the same time. We got to the lot, got my ticket scanned, and parked comfortably. It should have been easier than it went, but who cares? It's in the past now. The parking lot was really spacious and near the entry that was specified on our tickets. If you don't know yours, on Ticketmaster, press View Tickets and it will tell you on the bottom of each ticket. That process took about 40 minutes and we made it in line at 5:30 p.m. We were waiting in the line to get into the stadium for about 20 minutes. Okay, someone in line passed this to us. Apparently it's a fan project by Asian Entertainment and Culture, AEC. 사랑하는 단이들아, 우린 언제나 기다려서. And made it to where bag check usually happens, just before the entrance. Our bags weren't checked though, nor were our pockets, which was kind of concerning. I had a clear bag as well as my family, and it was all within measurements. They did tell my dad to toss his plastic bottled water cap though, just the cap. So we had water. I thought we weren't allowed to bring water, but we were. After that, we just walked straight to scan our tickets, but I had a process here. So I had my family line up in front of me, and the staff member scanned each ticket from my phone, allowing them in one by one, and then lastly, myself. And then we walked into the stadium, made it to our seats at 5:55 p.m., making the line roughly a 25-minute wait for us when the doors opened. I also made sure everything I brought was permissible, and thankfully Allegiant Stadium had a very in-depth A to Z guide on what is allowed and other information. After the concert, there was an announcement advising people to wait 10 to 15 minutes for the majority of departing crowds to ease up outside, but I figured most people were leaving by walking across the Hacienda Bridge. So we left quite easily from the parking lot since most people were walking instead of driving. We got in the car, drove back to our hotel, boom, easy. The stadium was also not hot at all. This might depend on whatever stadium they're performing at, but the Allegiant Stadium had really nice air conditioning. It didn't feel humid or uncomfortably hot, and I also brought portable electric fans, but I didn't even use them at all. Those portable electric fans might have been useful while we were lining up outside because it was pretty hot. Now, the beloved ARIRANG tour concert.
Warning, fool coming through, warning.
This was my first BTS concert ever, despite being in the army in late 2013. Over a decade ago, I had my first attempt, and my mom promised me that she'd bring me to a BTS concert and I should keep moving forward. Through the years, BTS gave me comfort, safety, ambition, and motivation, especially when things genuinely hit rock bottom in my life. Now, in 2026, my mom gave me her card and I fought for the tickets and eventually won. Standing in front of the stadium, I was filled with so much stress from finding our parking reservation. But stepping inside, standing in my seat, I felt nervous, thrilled, and amazed at the same time. I thought that I'd record the whole thing, but when it came to it, I just couldn't. I wanted to see the stage, the army bombs, the production, and BTS with my own eyes. I couldn't believe that I was actually seeing them, the artists, the people who inspired me for such a big portion of my life were right there. I was intentionally listening to their voices, watching them dance and have fun, so I could capture it in my memories. I danced along, screamed the fan chants, sang along, and jumped. The crowd was so hype, and I finally was a part of the Purple Ocean. We got An Panman and Attack on Bangtan for our surprise songs. The year I stan them was when Attack on Bangtan released, and I knew all the lyrics, and Jungkook's bridge will never get old. When BTS was singing the closing song, Into the Sun, I stood there, quietly singing along, looking at them in the crowd, and began crying. My life had reached a milestone, and I was seeing the group I loved for more than half my life for the first time, and genuinely felt pure happiness. BTS delivered an unforgettable performance, and I'm forever grateful. Getting the tickets was also a whole other experience. I used a PC with an Ethernet connection and I was not able to get tickets to D1 and D2 because I placed 30K and 40K in queue. Then I tried again the day after for day 3 in Vegas. Got placed in 20K and secured tickets. Then they announced Las Vegas day 4 pre-sale and I was placed in 10K and almost got tickets way closer to the stage, but my card thought it was fraud. So we settled with the D3 tickets. I mean, thank God though. I got 4 tickets, one for my mom, my sister, me, and an extra for my friend as she requested. Although 3 months later, my friend broke the news that she couldn't make it for reasons that insurance doesn't cover. Then it led to 2 months of one-sided negotiations for a fair situation, which I proposed she covers the face value price of the ticket if it did not sell by May 20, and the concert was on May 27. I had been consistently ignored, scrambling to sell the ticket while going to work and completing a course with a heavier workload than, as my sister said, her nursing program. However, as my dad confronted her about it, she sent the face value price to put an end to the situation, way before the May 20th deadline. She asked me to send it back if I ever sold the ticket. The ticket unfortunately did not sell by May 24th, which is when I pulled back the ticket and gave it to my dad. I carried the weight of the entire situation, responsibility over someone else's ticket, pushed for fairness, all while struggling with life. But when I was there, watching them, it was all worth it. My dad enjoyed it too. And before y'all come at me with the "I lost the ticket word to her family," my mom, sister, and I have been armies for over a decade. Probably longer than you were born, okay? And the extra ticket was being sold way below face value and no one bought it. And well, my dad had fun. Being an army for X amount of years does not determine how much someone deserves the ticket. Someone who deserves the ticket is someone who will enjoy the experience to the fullest. And that's exactly what we did. I absolutely want to encourage people who are new to BTS to experience them and see firsthand their global influence and their powerful performances. Anyways, thank you everyone for watching this video, and I hope it helps. If you have any questions, feel free to comment and I'll get back to you. And if you're lining up for merch, best of luck. My name is Dan Vino. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like, comment, and subscribe. Bye!